The African continent is no stranger to change, with a history as rich and diverse as its people. In recent years, a new generation has risen to challenge the old guard, demanding a new path for their nations. Nowhere is this more evident than in Burkina Faso, a landlocked nation in West Africa grappling with poverty, instability, and the ever-present threat of terrorism. From this crucible of challenges emerged a leader who has captivated the hopes and anxieties of a continent. Ibrahim Traoré. At the age of just 34, Traoré became Africa's youngest head of state, seizing power in a dramatic coup d'état in September 2022. His meteoric rise to power has sent shockwaves across the region, signaling a potential turning point in the struggle against terrorism and foreign influence. Traoré's supporters hail him as a man of the people, a fearless leader willing to stand up for the interests of his nation against all odds. His detractors, however, view him with a wary eye, concerned about his authoritarian tendencies and the potential for further instability in an already volatile region. Ibrahim Traoré's journey from the dusty streets of Bondoukoui to the presidential palace in Ouagadougou is a testament to his unwavering determination and the transformative power of education. Born into humble beginnings, Traoré's parents recognized the importance of knowledge as a pathway to a brighter future. From an early age, Traoré displayed a sharp intellect and an eagerness to learn. He excelled in his primary education in Bondoukoui, a small town in western Burkina Faso known for its agricultural production. As he grew older, it became clear that Traoré's thirst for knowledge extended beyond the borders of his hometown. He relocated to Bobo-Dioulasso, the country's second-largest city, to attend secondary school. Bobo-Dioulasso, with its bustling markets and vibrant cultural scene, exposed Traoré to the diversity and complexities of Burkinabe society. Driven by a desire to serve his country and fueled by a passion for knowledge, Traoré set his sights on the University of Ouagadougou, the nation's premier institution of higher learning. The year 2010 marked a turning point in Ibrahim Traoré's life, as he made the fateful decision to enlist in the Burkina Faso Armed Forces. Driven by a deep sense of patriotism and a desire to protect his nation from the growing threat of terrorism, Traoré embarked on a rigorous military training program at the prestigious Georges Namoano Military Academy. Traoré's natural leadership qualities and unwavering determination shone through during his time at the academy. In 2012, he graduated from the academy as a second lieutenant, ready to put his training into practice and serve his country on the front lines. His first deployment took him to the volatile northern regions of Burkina Faso, where Islamist insurgents had gained a foothold and were terrorizing local populations. Traoré faced the harsh realities of combat head-on, demonstrating courage and tactical acumen in the face of danger. In recognition of his exemplary service and dedication to duty, Traoré was promoted to lieutenant in 2014. As Ibrahim Traoré honed his skills as a soldier and a peacekeeper, his homeland of Burkina Faso was descending deeper into a vortex of violence and instability. The Sahel region, once a vibrant crossroads of trade and culture, had become a breeding ground for extremist groups, exploiting poverty, weak governance, and ethnic tensions to sow chaos and fear. Attacks by Islamist insurgents, including groups affiliated with Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State, became increasingly brazen and deadly, targeting civilians, security forces, and symbols of state authority. Schools, hospitals, and markets, once places of community and commerce, became targets, their destruction leaving a trail of shattered lives and broken dreams in their wake. The human toll of the conflict was staggering. Millions of people were displaced from their homes, forced to flee for their lives as violence engulfed their communities. The Burkinabe government, grappling with limited resources and pervasive corruption, seemed powerless to stem the tide of violence. Ibrahim Traoré returned to Burkina Faso in 2018, his experience in Mali having given him a stark understanding of the regional dynamics fueling the insurgency. He found his nation teetering on the brink, its people yearning for leadership and security. His superiors, recognizing his tactical acumen and unwavering commitment, tasked him with leading counter-terrorism operations in the country's volatile north. Captain Traoré, as he was now known, threw himself into his new role with characteristic zeal. He led from the front, earning the respect of his men through his courage under fire and his genuine concern for their well-being. He understood that defeating the insurgency required more than just military might. It demanded winning the trust and support of local populations. Traoré's time in the field had given him a deep understanding of the grievances exploited by extremist groups. He recognized the need to address the root causes of the conflict, including poverty, marginalization, and a lack of opportunities for young people. The year 2022 dawned with a sense of foreboding in Burkina Faso. The security situation had deteriorated further, with the government seemingly unable or unwilling to stem the tide of violence. Public anger at the government's perceived incompetence reached a boiling point, with protests erupting across the country demanding action. In this climate of fear and uncertainty, a group of junior military officers, disillusioned with the status quo and inspired by Ibrahim Traoré's leadership, decided to take matters into their own hands. On January 24, 2022, Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba, a respected officer with a reputation for integrity, led a coup d'état that ousted President Roch-Marc Christian Kabore. The coup, met with mixed reactions from the Burkinabe public, was welcomed by some who saw it as a necessary evil to restore stability and security. Captain Traoré, though not directly involved in the coup, watched these developments with keen interest. Damiba, seeking to consolidate his power and bring a semblance of order to the country, appointed Traoré as his chief of staff. Traoré, thrust into a position of national prominence, used his newfound influence to advocate for a more aggressive approach to combating the insurgency. However, tensions soon arose between Damiba and Traoré, leading to a dramatic showdown in September 2022. With Damiba ousted and placed under house arrest, Ibrahim Traoré, at the age of 34, became the interim president of Burkina Faso, making him the youngest head of state in Africa and a symbol of the continent's shifting political landscape. He inherited a nation grappling with a complex web of challenges, including a persistent jihadist insurgency, a humanitarian crisis of epic proportions, and a deeply divided society. Traoré, a man of action, moved swiftly to consolidate his power and implement his vision for Burkina Faso. He suspended the constitution, dissolved the government, and imposed a curfew, citing the need to address the deteriorating security situation. His actions, while welcomed by some as necessary measures to restore order, drew criticism from others who feared a descent into authoritarianism. True to his word, Traoré prioritized the fight against the insurgency. He launched a series of military offensives against jihadist strongholds, seeking to regain control of lost territory and restore security to beleaguered communities. He also appealed to the international community for support, but made it clear that Burkina Faso would no longer accept foreign interference in its internal affairs. Ibrahim Traoré's rise to power and his defiant stance against Western influence have drawn inevitable comparisons to Thomas Sankara, the iconic Burkinabe revolutionary leader who ruled the country from 1983 to 1987. Sankara, a charismatic figure known for his fiery rhetoric and his commitment to Pan-Africanism, remains a revered figure in Burkina Faso and beyond. Like Traoré, Sankara came to power through a military coup, promising to break with the past and usher in a new era of self-reliance and social justice. He implemented a series of radical reforms, renaming the country Burkina Faso, meaning land of the upright people, promoting national pride, and challenging Western imperialism. Sankara's policies, while popular with many, alienated some segments of society and made him enemies both at home and abroad. Traoré, while acknowledging Sankara's legacy as a source of inspiration, has been careful not to draw too close a parallel between himself and the fallen revolutionary. Nevertheless, the echoes of Sankara's legacy are undeniable in Traoré's rhetoric and his actions. Ibrahim Traoré's leadership represents a pivotal moment in Burkina Faso's history, and a microcosm of the challenges and opportunities facing the African continent as a whole. His rise to power is a testament to the growing frustration with the status quo and the yearning for a new kind of leadership, one that is responsive to the needs of the people and unafraid to challenge the established order. Traoré's decision to pivot away from France and seek closer ties with Russia, while controversial, reflects a broader trend across Africa. As traditional Western partners are perceived as increasingly unreliable and self-serving, many African leaders are looking for alternative sources of support and cooperation. This shift in geopolitical allegiances has the potential to reshape the continent's relationship with the rest of the world, creating new opportunities for development and cooperation. but also raising concerns about increased competition and instability. The success or failure of Traoré's leadership will have far-reaching consequences not only for Burkina Faso but for the entire region. If he can succeed in restoring stability, defeating the insurgency, and improving the lives of ordinary Burkinabe, he will become a powerful symbol of hope and a model for other African leaders seeking to chart a new course for their nations. The eyes of Africa, and indeed the world, are watching. More or less, this is all about the incredible youngest African leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso. In the next videos we will discover other incredible leaders one by one. So, subscribe the channel and stay with us. See you next time.